is it, Koopy? Koopy, what are they? What are they? No, not the stick. These. Are they your friends? Are they your friends? Yeah.
Alright, come here.
Oh, it's gonna be a booger. So, welcome back to Mossy Roots Farm. Some cool things have happened since the last time you saw me. One, it got cold. I'm wearing a coat now instead of a t-shirt. We got ourselves another Jersey, another steer. And not only did we get him, we also got 3 little babies. So the reason we like getting babies and bottle feeding them is one, my fiance's cousin shows cows at the local county fair. And, well, she wanted to show a cow this year, so that's why we got some Jerseys. The other reason is because we have some friends of ours that own a dairy farm that is all Jerseys. And they work out a really nice deal with us where we take their bull calves off of them. And then that way their line, their lineages ran through the county fair still. Because I think the owner's youngest son is a senior. So I think this is his last year if he is going to show. I don't know if he is. So it's kind of cool to keep the lineage running of your certain breed of cows, your certain specific genetics of cows, you know, being what you have on your farm. So that's a really cool thing, and that's why we get to do some of the things that we get to do, is because of those reasons and because of those relationships. But we have 3 newborn Jersey bull calves right now, and one of those is going to be for us. We have Jerseys right here that are steered already, and we've got a date scheduled in April for this feller, and then we have a date scheduled in August for this feller. Now, if some of you are familiar with different breeds of dairy and beef cattle, you might be wondering why we want Jerseys, why we have Jersey steers and not Angus steers or Herefords or any of the actual meat breeds. And if you know dairy specifically, you know Jerseys are the worst dairy for meat production. You know, Holsteins are not terrible. They still take a little longer time than beef do, but Holsteins aren't bad, and Jerseys are probably one of the worst because they're a smaller framed animal. They require a lot more protein to get nice and fat, so usually they're grain fed, and we have a grass-fed operation, so that adds another layer of why the heck do we have Jerseys. Well, the reason that we have Jerseys is because, like I said earlier, we have those relationships with Jersey farmers, and we get a great deal on their calves, so that way we have them to raise for meat. And if it wasn't for that, we probably wouldn't have the Jerseys. Now, the other reason that we have Jerseys, you want to say hi? Yeah. Yeah. The other reason we have Jerseys, steers I should say, is because our cows haven't produced any offspring yet. We bred them this fall, so it's going to take about 9 months from when we bred them to get offspring. And then once we have those calves, it's going to take, if it's a boy, a year and 6 months to actually get to a weight where we can process them. Whereas with the Jerseys, they're already born. You know, we've got him. He was born last November, so he's already over a year old. The one in the back was born in March, and these 3 babies, one was Thanksgiving, one was about a week and a half after, and our newest one was born, I think, 2 days ago. So the reason that we have them is because, yes, they might take longer. They might not weigh as much at a year and 6 months, but we're already 6 months ahead of schedule with calves, right? So like if this mama here, let's say this mama's bred, we're not sure if she is, but if she's bred and she has a bull calf, we already have to wait another 6 months to find out if she has a bull calf or not, or if she's even bred or not. And we're going to be 6 months ahead with the little guys up there. So that's why we have jerseys, because they're quick and easy. We can get them, and it sure beats waiting an extra 6 months for meat. Because I personally would find it embarrassing if I'm a beef farmer, I should say. I farm animals for a living, and I'm buying meat at a store. I find that embarrassing. So I don't ever want to do that. So that's why we got jerseys. Let's try and get that process quicker. Now, another cool thing that we're doing here, and this year really made the difference. This year, this is our first round bale. In years past, we would have been feeding round bales at the end of October even. So for us, this is a huge accomplishment. Now, yeah, we feed them in a bale feeder, and yes, they do still spread it everywhere. So there's not much difference in using the bale feeder versus not using the bale feeder. However, this will last another day, maybe 2 days with where we're at, and these bales are slightly smaller than what we used to get. We used to get 6x6 bales, or 6x5 bales. Now I think the farmer went to a 5x5 or even a 5x4. And I don't know why exactly he did that, but he does our bales, so I can't really say much about that, other than we appreciate him doing that for us. But with rotational grazing, with having everything sectioned off like we do, all the way around back there, with allowing the cows to get into the soybean field and allow our cows to get into the grass up there, we've made it to December and we haven't fed any hay. I just rolled this bale over yesterday. At the bottom of the screen down here somewhere, you'll see the date of when we first did round bales. And that's very important to us because this year especially, we did not get the hay crop like we usually get. We have no issues getting 40 to 60 bales a year. And some years we get 60 and roll some over into next year. And luckily we had just enough bales from last year that we kept, and from this year. I think we're going to be okay, because typically, like I said earlier, typically we start feeding bales in November, and then we can usually stop around March time. I think this year we'll be able to go December to March, no problem. And worst case scenario, obviously we'll buy some hay bales. But the other big issue that we're having this year specifically, because we got the Dexters, is they've decided they want to eat our hay bales. There's half of our bales that are like this. Now, yes, it is my fault because I put the bales too close to the fence. I didn't think about it at the time, but clearly the bales are too close to the fence. But they've been eating a lot of it, so we don't actually even have that much hay left. We might be down a whole bale if we calculate all this stuff that they've eaten already. And that was one of our Dexters. What she'll do is she'll stick her head underneath this fence wire and reach in there real deep, and then she nibbles away at it until she gets it all. Which is cool, but it's slightly inconvenient and irritating because we don't exactly like that, because it leads to less hay down the road. Well, thanks for watching Mossy Roots Farm. I'm not exactly sure what kind of trouble I'll be getting into this winter. I do have a full-time job, and beef cows don't exactly take a whole lot of energy to take care of once you did a lot of the prep work ahead of time. So you might end up seeing some bales being rolled. I did play with a chainsaw the other day. I didn't end up videoing any of that because it was just basically cutting trees down and cutting them up into firewood chunks. So who knows what you're going to end up seeing. I am working on a truck. Not sure how many of you would actually like to see me working on a truck or not. It's not like you can't find actual videos of that on YouTube already, so I don't know if I really want to put out the 10th video on how to do something on a truck when 9 other people did it probably better than I did before. But we always appreciate you stopping by and watching and seeing what our crazy critters are getting us into, or what they're getting themselves into. Like apparently face scratches on the barn. That feel good? That feel good, Raven? Oh, you being sassy. Yeah, you stretching, being sassy? Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next crazy adventure.